Welcome to Conversations with Leaders in Luxury. I'm Greg Furman, founder and chairman of the Luxury Marketing Council since 1994. Now 1,000 luxury brands in 37 cities, more than 4,000 CEOs and CMOs. Conversations with Leaders in Luxury is a series of interviews with people that are members of the council and have made contributions to the luxury arena in a variety of ways. Today I'm with Elaine Pappas of the law office of Elaine Pappas here in Manhattan. Elaine, we've known one another for a long time now. It's delightful to be here in Conversations with Leaders in Luxury. Thank you for sharing your time with us.
Thank you for inviting me. I've been an admirer of all the great events and works you've done over the years.
Thank you, Elaine.
You're welcome.
You have a multifaceted career. You were in the importing business, psychology, law. You're kind of a Renaissance person in my life. Talk a little bit about your journey to having your firm here and what took you to being an attorney and your practice itself.
Well, it has been interesting. I did start many years ago in retail sales of clothing sales, and then I got into the import-export business because I was 21 years old and felt that there were so many middlemen that had to be cut out, so why don't I just go and start doing my own importing? And when you're 21, you believe you could do that.
Well, so you had the entrepreneurial gene, no fear of delving into a new venture.
That's right. I got that from my dad. And I was for 11 years importing products from the UK, to the point of, after 11 years, we did contracts with Disney World at Epcot Center, Continental Airlines, the British Consulate had invited me to do a cocktail party in our honor for the good work we did between the two countries of business. And after that, I sold the company to go back to school to feed the brain a bit, and I became a psychologist. I got my master's in human resource management, and later went on to get my Juris Doctorate while I was still working and maintaining my career. A big part of which was in the securities industry. I was a principal chief compliance officer for Time Leverage Capital, which is owned and founded by Adrian Mueller, a very well-established, respected firm in Miami.
Yes, and you and Adrian, through Forthright Communications, are members of the Luxury Marketing Council. And through you, I met Nova Southeastern University, so we've got a number of aspects to our relationship. Talk a little bit about, which we'll come back to, but talk a little bit about your law practice and the emphasis and focus and areas of specialization that you're involved in.
Well, in my legal practice, it has evolved to be multifaceted as well. If I may back up for just a second,
Sure.
Back when I sold the import-export business, I had an experience where I was kidnapped at a gas station, and long story short, I jumped out of the car, very bad brain injury. They said I wasn't going to make it. Obviously, that didn't come out to be correct, and that also changed my life, as something like that can. It gives you an appreciation of life that one needs to. I can't explain it except that it was something that really changed that. So
I remember when we first talked about this in Florida at one of the board meetings of Nova, and it's very few people have that kind of an experience.
Funnily enough, I see it as a gift to have given me a better appreciation for life and the people in my life, such as yourself, who touch my life and go forward. So going back to your question about my legal practice, I chose to be in private practice as more of a sole practitioner with a network of other attorneys and business people to draw from, because my area is corporate international law, transactional law, where I help people implement their ideas from creating a company to merging a company to going forward, developing, having worked around the world in the luxury arena as well.
So it's much more than, say, a typical niche law practice, which might, or even with some of the big law firms where you would go into an area of specialization and would not be able to get the full level of integration from a best business practices standpoint, a marketing standpoint, financial and administrative standpoint, and the legal implications of that as pertains to contract and new initiatives.
That's exactly right, because I believe that as much as I deal with companies, I deal with people. and always the people are such a factor, which is where the psychology really does complement the law, as does the business experience. And that is my mission statement, to provide a creative and unique and successful business solution for these companies, because and in doing that, sometimes it can also save on legal expenses.
Yes. Well, and I think one of the failings of some of the big law firms is that clients often get lost in the structure of the big law firms, and if it's a multifaceted project, the integration of the communications or getting passed from one specialist to another, the relationship is often fragmented and the whole view is not held by a single person.
That is exactly correct. And I think one needs to have the right blend of information, best practices, legal, accurate information, and people savvy. I found it so important not to only understand the business, the company, but the people involved.
Yeah, well, you've been of enormous help to the council on many occasions, and I'm most appreciative of that. How do you see the market changing from the standpoint of your law practice? Where are the avenues of opportunity, and where are you focusing going forward?
It's a very interesting time we're living in, because the playing field in these economic times has changed drastically. And some of it is because of the economic crisis, but some is also because of these great technological developments. I'm getting a lot of luxury clients who are very interested and curious on their IP, their intellectual property issues, because the internet has created this vast domain out there, but how do they protect things? But how do they still get them out there while they're being protected? That same is true with content, which is what we were going to discuss about forthright in the Luxury Marketing Council and content, because it's become almost overwhelming. So that's what I'm saying. On the other side is people also wanting to know from a legal perspective, what do all these changes in the finance world mean? What do they mean as far as the international laws that are changing? What do they need to have in a contract to protect themselves?
Well, and with the world going increasingly global and at a breakneck pace, the speed of knowing that is more critical than ever before.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that we're working on in that very connection is your enterprise, which I'm involved with, Forthright Communications. I met Adrian through you, and maybe talk a little bit about the vision behind that in terms of where we think there may be some opportunities to take learnings from the financial services arena and bring them to a broader marketplace from the standpoint of content that is of high strategic value. Not just information, but intelligence.
You said it very well.